at this point, I'm just gonna consider brown lipstick as my nude. Hi babies, welcome back to my channel. This is Lizzie, or Liz, it doesn't matter. As you can see by the title of this video, this is going to be a life update. But before we get into that, if you are not subscribed, go ahead, subscribe. I don't post videos like on the regular, like I should probably do that, but I don't because I procrastinate and I'm lazy, and then sometimes life sucks, so kind of puts all that stuff on hold. So if you're not, go do it right now. If you are and you like to stay on top of my videos whenever I do decide to post, go ahead and put on that notification bell button. It's free, it's not going to charge you anything, and you get the notifications pop up on your phone whenever I post something, so you're the first to see stuff. Like, other than that, make sure you leave this video a big old thumbs up. It means the world to me, and I appreciate it so much when you guys actually do tune in and actually want to know things about my life. So yeah, let's get straight onto the video. So as far as the life update, I did an Instagram poll like a couple days ago, even though I procrastinated on this video and I should have uploaded it like almost a week ago, on what you guys would want to see for my next video, and that's obviously a life update. Dating back to my last video with my septum piercing, that's when last summer I actually moved out here with my family and currently in Delaware. I actually left last summer and I went back to California on my own. I moved back in with my best friend, Belle, which things worked out perfectly. If any of you people are nosy and feel like she's the reason why I left, it's not. There was a lot of other influences that led me to coming back to Delaware, being here with my family. So dating off with that, I moved back out there, moved into her place, and went back to my job, which I miss my coworkers immensely. That is like literally the only job that I feel like I'm ever gonna have where I was so close to my coworkers in such a way. And I don't think I'm ever gonna have like coworker relationships that I had with those kids, because I was a manager, so I supervised a lot of the youngins up in our workplace, so they looked to me kind of like a big sister figure, or I was a little Ash there, so people just looked to me for guidance, I guess, and I got a lot closer to those kids in that place because I was older, yet still their age, so it wasn't weird to talk to me about things. Going on from that, I started up school. I went to Blake Austin, the private institution for cosmetology. I was there for like a good 2 months. Yeah, and then I decided to drop out. I basically just went in with not having as much knowledge as a lot of the girls in there. I didn't even know how to braid hair, and a lot of the units that they said that they were going to go in depth with, they didn't really do so. I never learned how to braid. And that's like, something you're supposed to learn within the first 2 weeks. I didn't really get to the cool stuff like coloring hair and makeup, because it's literally only like 5% makeup in that cosmetology course. I mean, all the girls in my class were great. I had a great experience as far as the girls that were involved. However, the school, I went in knowing that this particular school would take more out of my GI Bill than they would claim to, and they did exactly that. They kind of ripped me off a little bit, but at least I dropped out and continued to go to this school and rack up on more and more debt, because I basically had a mental breakdown when I was trying to finger wave my doll's head and I couldn't get the grasp of it. And dealing with social anxiety, it was already a lot for me, being on the floor and having to work amongst a lot of other people. Our class had, I think, 12 girls in it, and by the way, they're still in school, and I still follow them all on social media, and they're all amazing women, and I hope that their cosmetology course goes as it should, and they all graduate and they all become beautiful hairstylists or whatever they decide to do in that industry. Makeup is always going to be something I have a passion about, but as far as it goes, I don't think I'm very comfortable doing makeup on somebody else or cutting a client's hair and knowing that they might not be happy with how the turnout is. That gets me really anxious. I'm getting anxious just thinking about it, because just imagine having somebody sit in your chair, go through that whole process, and then just completely blow up on you because they don't like your hair. Or they can go afterwards and leave a really bad review, because that's typically what most people do. They don't really want to say anything until afterwards, and you know, that's shitty. I'm a really big perfectionist, and I went in feeling like a perfectionist, and every time I failed, it was like the end of the world. And and a lot of that has to do back with just my artistry as a whole. I was an art student in high school, and it kind of just carried on, and I would cry over one little critique. So yeah. So I dropped out of beauty school, and then I continued on working. I started putting on more hours and basically just working full-time until I figured out what the fuck I wanted to do. And, you know, obviously I wanted to go back to school, but I didn't feel like, with the options that were around me, I didn't feel like I would be able to put in 100%, and I didn't feel like I would be able to find what I wanted. That being said, I continued working, and you know, the drama from work was really tiring, especially since you're in there and you see these people, you know, literally every day. And they can get on your nerves, but over time, I've kind of learned from me leaving last summer and then going back, I kind of learned what kind of management style I wanted to have, and a lot of people confided in me due to this management style, and a lot of people trusted me and respected me a lot more when I came back with that style and kind of realized, hey, I can't be a bitch to everyone in here regardless of how much they piss me off. I actually have to, like, you know, pretend like I like these people, or actually put in an effort and try to have a relationship with this person as long as it's at work. But yeah, Domino's has kind of taught me a lot as far as people skills. I've been building a lot of them. With that being said, things continue to dwindle on, and I'm not really like doing much. The influences around me are not really like doing much. You know, we're just kind of comfortable because at the time I was 18, and it's like, you know, I'm fresh out of high school. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do with my life? And I'm still continuing to figure out what the fuck I want to do. Just a little bit of advice: if you're 18 years old, you don't have your life figured out, that is perfectly okay. Not everybody's gonna have their fucking 5-year plan rolled out right in front of them, know exactly how to do this and to do that, and where the fuck their life is gonna lead them, because I didn't think I was gonna go back out to California, but I did. And I went through some amazing experiences on my own and learned some great things. If I would have never have left my household, I would not have grown more into the person that I'm becoming today. I definitely think taking time to figure out who the fuck you are and what the fuck you want to do is just generally, it just depends on the person and what your pace is and what feels right to you, because not everything's going to feel right to the same person, and not everybody is going to go through their life the same way. So leading up to December, I turned 19. 19 now, closer to 20. You know, I'm gonna cry my eyes out a little bit, but whatever. Speaking of which, I didn't deal with my problems the way that I should have been. I was in a very toxic relationship on and off. Even if he watches this video, he knows it was just as toxic as I knew it was, and I was not dealing or coping with my feelings that I should have. I felt like if I did specific things, he would continue to stay around, which, you know, is not right. And, you know, it's just, I went through this period of time where I did not love myself enough to walk away, and I did not love him enough to just give up. And what I mean by that is that, you know, obviously we both knew that things were just not going to get better, and even to this day I don't see them getting any better than they are, and it's just better off this way because, you know, shit happens. Things don't work out between people, and that's just how life works. I went through a lot of things with him just in the short span of me being out there. I'm not going to say he's a shitty person, because I'm just as a shitty person as he is. I did some things, obviously, that were not trusting, and he did some things that were not trusting either. But a lot of my stress and my anxiety came from this relationship, and it dragged me the hell down. My best friend had to sit there and watch it, and the kind of girl she is, she kind of just lets me go through shit and figure it out myself, because I'm an adult, she's an adult, she might be my best friend, she might not like him, but she's not going to sit here and tell me my life choices and make decisions for me. And she kind of just watched it. Of course she was still there, she was still a shoulder I cried on, but it was something where, you know, she was just going to let it run its course, and I'm so glad she did, because who knows what would have happened. This toxic relationship was just dwindling on and on and on, up to the point to where I came back to here. A lot of my anxiety and my depression and things were triggered by the way that this relationship was going, and I didn't know how to love myself enough. And looking back at that, it's kind of like, bitch, what were you doing? Like, usually it's just something like where I would have a moment where I would just snap out of it and just be like, fuck it, like, if you're not gonna treat me the way that I want to be treated, I'm just gonna walk away. But I never had that moment, and I thought that it was better to fight for it rather than just to give up. But, you know, obviously now my mindset has changed. It's a little bit clearer up here, like, we is good. That relationship ended. If you follow me on social media, you know exactly who it's with. If you are a friend in my life or a family member in my life, you know exactly who it's with. If you watch the video, you know exactly who it is. So that's all I really have to say on that. I wish him the best. Keep your problems over there. I'm 2,000 miles over here. So I finally decided to come back home on, I think, like January 18th or 19th. I kind of just had that breaking point where I was like, wow, like, I really need to start getting my head clear and in the right mindset, because I dropped out of school. All I'm doing is working. Like, you know, this shit might work for everybody else, but I want to be making moves. I want to see myself doing something in 5 years, and I want to see myself progressing through life, and I just wasn't doing that by being stagnant there. Yeah, it was great, because for one, I lived with my fucking best friend. We were getting drunk all the time. Yeah, that was awesome, but I wasn't doing things to progress myself as an adult and as a growing human being. I kind of just broke it down to my mom, started crying. You know, I was like, I'm ready to come home. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to work on my relationship with my parents, and I want to be here. But with that being said, I came back home, but I almost walked out of it. I went on the 19th to fly out that day, and, I basically just had a breakdown over some baggage. Like, what the fuck? Some baggage. Like, the price of the baggage was gonna be a lot more than I expected it to be, and I just started flipping out, like, maybe this is a sign, I shouldn't come home, like, this is not working out how I want it to be. And I freaked out, and I went back home, and my mom was so devastated that I was like, fuck it, like, I can't do this. Like, I'm terribly, terribly, terribly afraid of flying. I don't like heights, but, you know, I did it when I needed to get out of this house and grow as a person when I moved to California, so I should be more than okay to do it flying back for my mom. When I put myself in that mindset, I was like, alright, fuck it, like, not scared, I can do this, I just need to breathe, I need to remember that this is just temporary, and I can get the fuck through it. They decided that I would fly out on the 23rd, or the 24th, I think it was the 24th actually, so I flew out on the 24th, flew back here, Delaware. It was a 4-hour flight, and I landed in Baltimore, and I literally just, like, I knew, like, it was time for me to be home, in a sense where I could work on myself, I could get a new job, I can go back to school, and I can start taking a hold of my life rather than having other people dictate it and kind of try to, you know, navigate it themselves. Like, I don't need help with that. So as far as that goes, I'm here. You know, some days are worse than others, but I'm working on myself, so that's what matters. With that being said, homegirl decided to get on Tinder just for shits and giggles. because I mean, I decided to get on Tinder and I met this guy named Cody. He is the center of my life, basically. He's my lifeline out here. I hang out with him as much as I can and he's great. And that's the thing too, people are gonna look at it like I'm crazy, like, oh, well, you were just in a relationship with this person for a year and some change. I don't really feel like I need to put a timestamp on when I'm ready to jump into another relationship or when I'm ready to start talking to somebody. If I feel like I'm ready and if I feel like I have a connection with somebody, I'm gonna jump on it, because losing a good person like that just because I'm too scared to jump into something with how my past was and how my history was, you know, that's like a good thing, like walking the fuck like in front of me and walking away. Like, I'm not gonna let that slip me by. But he inspires me to grow as an individual, and he also pushes me to do things that is gonna help my growth rather than stunt me and make me feel stagnant. He's been a great factor in my life so far, even though I've been only out here for like 2 months and some change. But I mean, I also have an interview at Spencer's on Friday, which is tomorrow, and then hopefully I get the job in that so homegirl can work at Spencer's, because duh, like, that's dope as fuck. And I'm gonna be starting up school in May for summer classes, and then continuing on. I'm going to be going to Del Tech for my visual communications, and then hopefully transferring off to a University of Arts where I can start an art education program. So, excuse me, ugh. So I can start teaching other kids how to express themselves in forms of art, obviously. And one day I just kind of hope that I can be that art teacher, or that teacher in general, that just stands in front of their class and lets them know, like, hey, it is okay to not know what you're gonna do at 18. Like, we are here to help you figure that out. Because honestly, in high school, my senior year, I wish I had a teacher that actually put forth the effort to let me know, like, hey, like, you need to get this and this and this done. But it is also okay if you don't want to do that and you decide to go on a different pathway. So it was like some really corny shit, but whatever. As far as that, I feel like that's it as far as like my life update. Obviously there's a lot of things that have gone in between that I have not mentioned, but I think you get the gist of it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said in the beginning, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to thumbs up. Like, obviously, like, that stuff helps me out a lot. But yeah, until next time, guys, bye.